That's what I said here.
We'll pass that one around. So this is, I'll keep one over here, and you can just hand it around. And
All right.
we're going to start. So, hey guys, where are we, Nate?
We are in Hinckley, Illinois, Two Chicks Homestead. We are at our property, well, our neighbor's property currently, because we don't have quite enough room to fit everybody on our property that showed up. But we're 3 acres next door hanging out with Tim and everybody who showed up for the workshop meetup.
It was awesome. I believe with Donald, we had 25 people show up, which is
Yeah.
a pretty damn good number.
Yep.
And if anybody, so you can see us, we're just kind of chilling here.
Hi.
So anybody who's ever listened to the show knows the importance I put on in-person meetups, because this is what we do. This is what, at least, if you're going to stick around long term, you got to live for in-person meetups, because this is where you get fucking recharged and do the things that, you know, it sends you out into the world to get shit done, right?
Right.
So I love it. This has been awesome. We had rain for half the day, but it was sprinkles.
Yeah, it was good, maybe about 2 hours total, I think it rained.
Didn't dampen our spirits any.
No. It just chilled things down a little bit, and it wasn't too bad.
So do you want to go around the horn? Let's just, I don't know how you want to do it. It's always just chill. Just say who you are and how you got here. Who wants to, you good? We're starting? Okay. I didn't want to put you on the spot. So this way I can remember everybody's names. This is what we do, guys. So
Yeah, I'm Mike from 2 towns over, right?
I love
rode my bike 20 miles to get here.
what kind of fucking bike is that?
Yeah, it's a juiced Rip Current. I think it's a 2.0.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty quick. But yeah, just rode over here, meet Tim, everybody else, and it was awesome.
How did you get connected to the overall community? Or how, are you friends with Nate and Aaron?
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, so I know Nate, but I met Nate when Jack Spirko was having people go over to MeWe, and I was just friending everybody on MeWe, and he had a cover photo of the Hinckley water tower off of a drone, and I messaged him and I'm like, hey man, that's Hinckley, because my wife Annette used to live right down the street from it. Wow. So like she lived right across the street from the Dairy Joy, which is a block over, right? So she lived in that house right there. So I knew exactly where he was at. There was no hiding. Well, she lived in the apartments in the back of the one that just got redone, the siding. Okay. So I think now it's gray. Okay. It was white previously, 2-story.
That's our neighbor's buddy. Our buddy's neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just contacted him then, and we've hung out a few times here and there.
Dude, I love it. I love stories like that. Do you want to go ahead, Wannabe? That's his name. I'm not just like making fun of him or anything. So you just talk. It'll pick you up wherever you're at. You don't have to eat it.
Hi, I'm Nathan Wannabe Ready from the Telegram social media group. I downloaded the iHeart podcast radio application and found the Prepper Broadcast Network channel. And was sampling different shows or authors, not authors.
Yeah, whatever, creators.
Creators, thank you.
You're doing good.
Creators there, and found Two Man Tim Radio. It was.
Yep. Podcast, and then we changed
the podcast. Right, it was always a podcast for me, and I really, really liked a lot of his content, and so I realized I was going out of my way to check the podcast like every week or so, and I realized that I'm like, okay, well, I would like to ask some questions or something. So he announced an email, and I got email recently too. So I sent him an email and I said, hey, and he told me about the Telegram group. So a couple months later, I joined the Telegram group, and now a couple months later, I'm here.
How'd you get into preparedness? Is it always?
Pretty much back in the early and mid 90s. Kind of really, I was about to say blew up, kind of really expanded in the run up to Y2K, even though I wasn't wound up about Y2K. I was writing columns for a local paper.
Okay.
And I wrote a couple columns about it's not going to be as bad as everybody thinks. This is not going to be the end of the world as we know it. And my interest just kept going from there. I was volunteering at disaster sites, Hurricane Katrina, things like that, local fires or floods. And my interest just kept growing and growing. So I have really enjoyed the prepper mindset. The For some people, they get freaked out about, well, I don't want to talk about dying and wills and stuff. They get freaked out because it makes them anxious.
Sure.
Well, for me, I'm the opposite. I realized I feel less anxious, or I feel better because I have a feeling of, okay, I've got something prepared. I have a plan. I have an idea. I realized, okay, this makes me feel better than just, oh my gosh, there's something might happen, and it just makes, for me, it just makes sense because it's comforting. And my I had, when I had a little son, my little boy, he's grown now.
Sure.
When I had a little boy, taking care of my family, my wife, it just seemed to click. And yeah, so
That's cool, man. Thank you.
about-
Kind of cathartic then, eh?
yeah, about 30 years now, and I've never regretted any of it.
Cool. Here you go, ma'am. Way over to you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Angie Marie. That's how I'm known on Telegram and some other social media platforms. But I've been following the homesteading and prepping world for a long time, and I would never call myself a homesteader nor a prepper. Although
Then you'll fit in right here.
We've been slowly over the years, trying to become more self-sufficient. And what we focus on right now, what we're focused on really is our businesses and making money and saving money and putting it away to get to the place where is more fitting for us. We are in Illinois. We're in central Illinois in a town,
Who's
in
we?
a neighborhood. My husband, who
He's
is
camera shy over there. He's.
Oh,
it's
is he
okay.
over there?
Yeah, it's okay.
My husband, who is Moswald, on most social media platforms. So, been following everybody for a really long time, and like I was telling you, I don't communicate online until this year. I said I need to put myself out there. Just go for it. Just join groups, communicate where you feel comfortable. Found Aaron and Nate. I heard knew that they were in Illinois, and really was attracted to the fact that they were working with rabbits. And I said, hey, if you ever do that again, let me know, because we had gone to Nicole's turkey workshop and did that, and it was a great experience, and just, wanted to try it with the rabbits.
And you said you're building your business for freedom, or
Yeah,
for your own version of freedom?
Yeah.
What's your business?
I am a reseller. I sell online, eBay, Etsy, Mercari. As a business, that is what I do. I work probably more than a full-time job on it, even
Okay.
though it is.
Is it good enough? Are you not happy, not content, but is it at least helping pay the bills at this point?
Absolutely, yes.
I love to hear that.
What it's really doing right now, we are putting away money for savings, but I am training to be a power lifter, and it pays for me to have a personal trainer.
That is
To
really
work
cool.
with.
It's
Yeah,
not something you've
so-
told us yet today.
No, it's not. And so I had my first competition.
Fucking awesome.
My first competition was last month or the month before, and so I have another one coming up in December.
So what do you? Okay, I got to ask. So what what's the word for it? I don't even know what you call it. Like what event in powerlifting do you do? Is that what I'm looking
Yeah,
for?
it's bench press,
Okay.
squats, and deadlifts.
What's your personal best you're most proud of so far?
Deadlifts 215 pounds.
Not sure I could dead. No, that's freaking.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm still a beginner, I would say.
Sure.
But anyway, it's fun, and that's what I want to continue with my life. I like being healthy.
Yep.
And,
Living your life.
Living my
That's
life, exactly. Enjoying it while we're trying to get to where we want to be.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Lady, you want in? You got a free hand? So who are you? What are you up to? How'd you get here?
I'm Letty Lou. I
Currently
got here
holding a
because I
baby in a-
drove. I think you mean by like how I came to be in this little group of cool people. Close to 10 years ago, I found out about this tiny podcast that not many people have heard of called the Survival Podcast. And back in 2019, Jack mentioned something about this website called MeWe, that he was starting his new little community on there. And I said, oh, I've already got a profile on there. Let me join it. And I think that's where I first saw Toolman Tim, was actually
I don't know who he is, but it's
on actually on MeWe, and I met Nate on MeWe, and we connected because I was still in Illinois at the time. And Bug came along a few years after that, and I got into the TSP community and the LFTN community. Amy Dingman's group with the Farmer's Life, and now Tim's workshop community, and I'm proud to call myself a delinquent.
yeah.
Even though I was not a delinquent in school, I was definitely the like picture perfect model student in school, but never put a toe out of line, and that has drastically changed. But yeah, that's kind of how I got to
Hi,
be
buddy.
here today, and I'm looking forward to many more events like this.
What great things are you doing right now?
I'm raising my children. I have little man 2 days a week. He's taking STEAM classes, so he actually learned how to make sauerkraut this week, which I'm like, that's awesome for 5-year-olds learning how to make sauerkraut because I don't know how to do that. And he's learning Spanish, so we'll have a third language in the house because I speak French, my husband speaks German, and now he'll speak Spanish. And on top of that, I have a small little business called Backwoods Consulting, and I do virtual assistant work, and I'm branching out into doing like
Social media.
organizational consulting. And no, Tim, I will not fly anywhere in the United States or Canada
She will fly
to
at her
help you.
cost. And no, I'm just kidding.
to help you organize your kitchen, office, whatever it is. But yeah, that's slowly been building up over the past year, and it's a lot of fun. I don't make a lot of money doing it, but I enjoy it, and that's becoming our new little freedom account. So that's just anything I make in there is just strictly for savings and emergencies that come up, which is awesome. And I finally just got in the black after like all of my expenses of a new computer and whatnot for starting it up this year. So I'm really excited to see
Proud of you, lady.
how the next 3 months go for this year.
Go ahead, Don.
He's not. Here's Don.
Howdy, Tim. My name's Don Young, EMT Don on Instagram, and Don at Ambulance Driver Confessionals. My 9 to 5, I'm an EMS instructor, director of education for the company I work for. And then I'm the guy when things go sideways, like, how do you fix this? What's this? I'll never be short of a job because you can't fix stupid. And as I look about 20 feet to my right, I got an AED and jump bag, so I live, breathe everything EMS pre-hospital work, and here we are.
And you also instruct and occasionally moonlight as a security guard.
Yeah.
Don's really good at downplaying all the shit he does. So, how did we meet first, Brother Don?
Oh, let's see. My path started when I bought a gun. I bought a Smith & Wesson Shield,
It's a good story.
and I needed verification that I bought a good whatever I thought it was at the time. Jumped on YouTube and I found James Yeager, TAC Response, started training with him, became TAC Response alumni. And then if you're training TAC Response, you need cool guy gear. John Willis of SOE, started listening to him. And then he kept saying this guy called Jack Spirko. I'm like, who the hell is this Jack Spirko guy? Hippie duck farmer. Survival podcast. And then I started hearing these voices, Toolman Tim and Nicole Sauce, down in Camden one day. And it's like, wait a minute, I recognize that voice. So Nicole Sauce. And I jumped on an opportunity to go to LFTN. And
You were on her show before that?
I forgot about that.
I remember. I'll never forget that episode. I loved your stories from loss prevention.
Oh,
so.
Christ help me. If it's not bolted down, it will be stolen.
Even if it is sometimes.
I'll come back later with a crowbar.
So I met Nicole Sauce, LFTN, and then I met this big burly guy from Canada. And it's like, wait a minute, I recognize that voice. It's like, holy crap, that's Toolman Tim. He is the reason. Now I debate with my coworker in the office, DeWalt versus Milwaukee.
Yes.
I always win. You're dead to me, Nate.
Yep. It used to be fun. It used to be friends.
Yeah. So
And not just that, but we've become friends, which is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, like the type that can text and call whenever we need each other, and I appreciate you, brother.
yeah.
So,
No, you would. There's been a couple of times where I just wasn't sure, and I've got my support group here, but it's like, let me just run it past someone else, another country away. And it's like, okay.
even with the long distance rates.
Yeah. We carrier pigeons now.
Yes, it's true.
And I was gonna say Nate's getting me into the ham radio stuff. Maybe we can figure that out. So
That'd be awesome. Thanks, man. What we got in the back there? Yo.
So this is Yoshik, or some people know me as Larry. Longtime listener, first time caller. Yeah,
Hey, turn down your radio, caller. Turn down your radio.
it's not even mine.
What are you calling about today, sir?
So this is my second kind of meetup. I met up with Nate here at this spot just a couple months ago, and planning on doing SRF next month. So I do an on and off podcast, Serenity Minded. It's also my Etsy store, freeze dried goods, laser engraving, stuff like that. Handyman, entrepreneur, landscaper, knife sharpener, anything I can do in my spare time to make a few extra dollars, learn a new skill. And a lot of that is from this network.
What's one of the coolest jobs you've done recently that you're really proud of?
I love the landscaping stuff. It's not so much the cutting grass. It's good getting my hands in the dirt and weeding, putting down mulch, and making something that the owner comes back and goes, wow, I didn't know my yard could look like this. And if I can sneak in some edibles and herbs and stuff like that, I'm definitely trying to get that stuff in there.
So we call it edibles or something different in Canada. No. So what do you do with all your free time?
I'm trying to figure out what that is.
Okay.
I don't know yet. And this is my free time, coming here. When I'm not here, I'm trying to teach my son skills and just trying to make a better life for myself, my fiance, and my kids today.
Okay.
Because there's no hope for tomorrow. So you got to do what you can today to try and live your best life.
Amen, brother. So let's go around the horn one more time here. This is one of my favorite questions, but all right, so we're going to look into the future to the end of, Nate's got a smile. You got something to say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're fine.
So look into the future till December 31st, 2024. What one amazing fucking thing, or two or three, do you want to accomplish between now and then? So we're talking 15 months from now. What can you do to make your life better? And it's a tough one. And it can be simple. It could be a new personal best at deadlift. It could be X amount of hours with your handyman. It doesn't matter. I wasn't picking on you for deadlifting, So, you want me to go first? Do you need time to think about it, Nate, or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, go ahead.
oh, I know he's smiling.
So my goal, it's funny you bring this up, Tim, because I waited until today to say something about something that we were planning on doing. So we are officially at Two Chicks Homestead going to start offering radio packages, ham radio packages, and consulting for all of our community. If you need, I would like to expand that, and by December 31st, 2023, I want to see, my goal is to get 30 people in the community licensed.
That's a great goal. That's a really specific and really attainable goal. I like it.
Yeah.
But it's not attainable because it's easy. It's attainable because I know you're going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to see more people licensed. I want to see more people using radios. I want to see more people asking questions, and I want to see more people being able to take over their communication freedom using ham radio or the other systems that are out there, preferably ham radio, because you and I have sat down, Tim, and explained just the benefits of actually getting licensed and using that service.
So we talk about, peer-to-peer and decentralized and whatever, but ham radio is one of the very first kind of decentralized ways of communication, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
You can't shut it off.
Right.
That's...
In a worst case scenario, as long as you got a battery and somebody listening on the other end, you got some comms out, eh?
Exactly. And if you don't have comms, you don't have a plan.
Do you have a name for your business yet?
It's tentatively being called Homestead Ham Radio. That's what it is on Facebook right now.
Okay. I like that.
We are still working on it. We are going to revamp our website in 2 weeks. At least sit down and talk to our website provider so we can get all this stuff up and rolling. And then we can actually start expanding and offering things from our podcast side of things,
Okay.
along with Erin's weddings
Mm-hmm.
that she officiates.
So I'll be able to officially say on the podcast when I do your sponsorship role that I can mention your ham radio thing now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So it's going to take a couple weeks to get it officially up and rolling,
Okay.
but I already have 2 radio sets sold, and that was to members here. Tim was actually my first customer. Thank you very much, sir.
Do my best.
Don had me program a set of radios that he had purchased himself, so
Nice.
we are set to go there. And then Larry over here had me program his TYT 9800. So it's 3 people so far that have used the
Available.
services here, and this is, sitting down and chit-chatting and learning how to do stuff.
Proud of you, man.
So
Keep it up.
2024 should be interesting. This December, my rental house will be paid for.
Ho ho.
Next August, our house will be paid for. I'm currently looking for some property up in Upper Michigan, and I've told my my employer that I'm only going to be working 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting probably next August, but maybe December into the new year. So there's there's going to be big changes in our family.
I respect that you said you told your employer. That means you've built your life to the point where you can do that, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, and like Don, they need me.
Sure.
Like they need me. So I'm like, we can do this 1 or 2 ways, right? Like I can work 3
3
days
days
a
or
week.
0 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And so then, in that regard, those other 4 days, if I find something that I actually love, because my job now, I'm an electrician, right? So I can do that on the side. I never wanted to be an electrician. It just made sense. Everything I've ever done in my life has always been because it made sense. So it's time for me to look at some stuff that doesn't make sense and actually tugs on my heartstrings, right? Like people ask like, what's your passion? And I just don't know, because I've always just made sensible decisions about everything that I've ever done. So it's time for me to hop out of the box, but I'm not going to do that until I know that, like, my parents are living in my rental house right now. I know they're taken care of, or at least I'll let my mom live there for free forever. Maybe not my dad. Then, my kids are always this way, because I tell them flat out, right? Like, pay as little taxes as possible so you live here as long as humanly possible, so that you're not paying somebody else's taxes, right? And I see it. I mean, I don't know. The kid gives me like $750 a month to live at our house, and I just tell him he's prepaying his inheritance, and all I'm doing with that money is putting it in accounts, so that when there's stuff that needs to be done at the house, you can just pull it right out of the accounts. And I got a place to come back to if I feel like doing some hours as an electrician here. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting year, especially going into 2025. It'll be super exciting. I'm sure I'll have property up north, so I'll be working on infrastructure and seeing exactly where I'm going to go with it.
I love it. I'm glad I met you, man. This is great. You make me smile.
I won before today for a while. Okay, let's focus here. Starting in January, about the first 4 or 5 months of this year, had several kind of major life changing events happen. My father got injured. I was taking care of him for a while. My first grandbaby, my granddaughter, turned a year old, and I suddenly realized being in a profession where I step in front of bullets for other people as an armed security officer, I kind of want to be around in 20 or 30 years to see her graduate and get married and go to school. And so I decided when I was taking care of my father for so long that I ended up losing my job. And I kind of have had the sense for most of this year that God has been trying to say, here, there's a different path for you. Well, now my brother and his wife, who live in the same town as me, they're planning on moving up north away from me. So I won't have anybody around. So my goals a few months ago was I want to finish paying off my house. I've got about a year left.
Right on.
And then move to be closer because my father, my son, grandbaby, daughter-in-law and stuff, they're all living in a fairly close proximity to each other, but 3 hours away from where I live right now. So I thought, well, I could move there and be by family. About 2 months ago, I realized at that point I've got 4 giant storage units filled with stuff, a lot of prepping stuff and whatnot. I need to pare this down. I need to stop spending a lot of money and storing on all this stuff. And as of today, it's down to 3 and 1 pallet worth of stuff. Yeah. So my second goal that I was thinking about is I want to get that continue. Ideally, I'd like to be down to 1
Sure.
by the end of, well, I was thinking before next summer, but by the end of next December. And then after today, in speaking with Nate and you, I mean, you guys were basically doing a little seminar. I mean, I've been wanting to get the ham radio license for 5 or 6 years now. I mean, I downloaded some ebooks and whatnot, and bought some Baofengs, some basic ones, I guess. And I'm like, I really want to do this. And so when you had said, what 3 goals do you have? I'm like, well, I got 2. Third one would be good, maybe get that license, that radio license. And then he's talking about helping people learn, because I had asked him about my bail things. He's like, yep, we can do this, I can do this, it'll cost you this much. And I'm like, wow, he really had all that just off the top of his head. Well, now I know why. Yep. So, and I'm like, okay, that again, that just kind of seems like here's a path, and now I've met somebody who can help me with that. And so those are my 3. I'm kind of excited, looking forward. Some trepidation, of course.
They're pretty awesome goals, dude.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you my goals so you can hang on to them for a second. I will make it quick, but yeah. So by 2024, we want to develop our property in Tennessee. That's number 1. We want to have a more
6 months and a day in the USA.
Yes, 6 months minus a day in the USA.
No, 6 months
I know.
plus 1 day.
Yes, I'm going to do my best. So this year,
the Mounties show up and drag him down.
I'm pushing 2 full months south of the border this year, which was a big deal. So whatever. Yeah. So if I can get 6 months down here, that's the freedom I want.
Down there last year, so you've doubled your time.
I have. I've more than doubled my time. So it works out 17 decimeters, I think. I'm not sure. So that we want somewhere that we could live short-term, long-term, if you know what I mean, down there. So we want that. We are also, by the end of next year, I would love to have all the daycares open. So it was going to be 5, but now it's going to be 1 in our town, a big one in another city, and then 2 more in another city. And if we can have all of those, we'll have everything we need as far as income and, so if we can get those done, because Becky's really working herself like crazy right now. And it means the world to me that she's doing it. I'm helping her in every way I can, but I want to be able to get our life to the point where she can pull herself back a little bit so that we can do this together. Because I love being here, but I'm still torn. I'm absolutely torn with, I really want Becky here, and I'd love to have the kids here too, but they're going to be 18 in 4 years. So yeah, and let's see. Let's make a big, hairy, audacious goal. It's not that hairy, but let's say 25,000 YouTube subscribers by then too. So yeah, and just keep building the income. Like I set a goal last year at Self-Reliance Festival that by December this year I would be at a certain amount of income that we could live off of, and I hit it at the end of August. So it is a full-time gig. Content is a full-time gig now. So there we are. Go ahead as the train goes by and says hello.
Well, let's see. Moswald and I, just earlier this year, we were always good with money. We did get out of debt a long time ago, but we weren't putting away as much as we could. So, since earlier this year, we have made it a dedicated amount of money that we are sure to put away each month
Nice.
towards buying land. Another dream would be to build a house. And so maybe being able to have a down payment for land. We've looked in, well, we haven't looked in Tennessee. We did look in Missouri. We actually drove to Missouri and around a few years ago. But Tennessee would be another place.
You got to
that
come
we'd be
down and check it
interested-
out.
I
I'm
know,
telling
I
you.
know. Yep. And so that would be a wonderful goal to reach, is for the down payment. Let's go back to powerlifting. Yes, I
I can tell you're passionate. I love to hear it. So.
I would like to. I have some crazy goals for December. I'm not going to say I won't hit them, but they're pretty ridiculously high. Doing a deadlift of 270, that would be amazing. Let's just say I'm going to do it. But yes, in
Uncross
the
those
end,
fingers and say it
You're
again.
never supposed to ask a lady this, but how much do you weigh?
130.
So
It's
double
more than
your-
double.
Yes, that's yes. My trainer is
You
sure
go ahead
to-
and ask. I ain't asking.
My trainer is sure to point that out. Double the weight. So, or yeah.
Is that a goal for deadlifters? Like a big goal to do double your weight, or is that?
I guess I don't know, but my
Okay.
trainer did say,
Sure.
if you could do double your weight, that's pretty amazing.
Yep.
For that, because it's hard to do.
So you will do it.
That would be, yes, a goal. But I'd say that's pretty much it right now. The saving the money is really just our main goal right now. So
What kind of land do you want? What are you looking for?
gosh, it just I want the mix. I want rolling. I want definitely woods around us, flat. Having a body of water would be great.
Okay.
But yeah, that'd be good.
Cool. Well, we'll get you down to Tennessee before long. So,
Okay.
Letty, you want to go? Did you hear the question? Goal for 20. So look ahead in the future. Look into your crystal ball to December 31st, 2024. What? 1, 2, 3. I don't care. What crazy accomplishments, goals do you want to get for by then?
So I've actually been thinking what my word for 2024 is going to be, because I do the word of the year.
Yes.
And I think my word for next year is going to be connector or connection, something along those lines.
You're going to say Canuck.
I love the North, but my husband would never move to Canada, so sorry, Tim.
It's fine.
He wants to move farther south, and I was like, oh, no. I think I'm going to focus on connections and building connections and helping people establish those different connections. I've realized over the past few years that my role in the various communities I am is to bring people from one community over to another and introduce them to everybody else. And if I can facilitate those connections, that's going to be huge. So my goal for how I'm going to actually do that is I've spoken twice this year on how to get into prepping. Just easy peasy basic preps, and we're not talking like nuclear apocalypse stuff, just everyday old prepping.
Really?
And
It's supposed to be practical. Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Okay.
a lot of people think I'm crazy, but practical is a bit more. It's not as sexy as saying I'm prepping for the zombie apocalypse or whatever. So no, it's just sitting over here making sure I got meat and potatoes for next week, and for next month and the month after that. So I'd like to build on that, and actually I'd like to get at least 4 speaking gigs next year.
Okay.
I figure I can do 1 a quarter. And I'd also like to, if I'm not planning, assist others in planning at least 4 community meetup events kind of like this one. And even if it's just, hey, I know people that are in your area, even if I can't make it, and getting those people connected to it so that these communities can grow and we can make the connections. Because I've talked to all of you guys in online before. I've met a couple of you in person, but it's not until we actually get together that you cement those relationships and really build the connections and the trust. Because I can talk to you all day long, but I'm not going to trust you until I meet you and shake your hand. And for me, the trust is the most important. So
Or hug.
hugs are.
Yeah.
I'm not a big hugger, but I will hug a few people. So
I'm not either.
if I allow you to hug me, then you've definitely gotten into my inner circle. We'll just leave it at that. So That's my goal. Is I want to keep fostering these connections and really get our communities to grow. And I think it's beautiful that we've gotten people from several different states that are here today. Thank you, Nate and Aaron, too, for hosting it. And I'm in the works on planning like a middle Wisconsin event for next year, so everybody in Wisconsin can kind of come together and
Will there
well,
be cheese curds?
cheese curds and beer. You know it.
All right. We'll be at the local supper club.
Oh, with our brandy old fashions.
We'll, we'll stop at the Quick Trip on the way there.
I'll show up with 3 bags of milk
Oh,
just for you.
I'm proud of you, Letty, so you know. I love hearing what you're doing.
And I got to do your show again, like 4th of July ish, because that's been the past 2 years. It's been right around the 4th that we've done our
Yes,
talks
that's right.
about death and
Yeah,
dying.
we will. Yeah, we'll bring we will bring some edifying conversation
Oh,
to
it'll be
the
fun.
celebration of the union that is the United States.
I love it.
Yes. Thanks, Letty.
You're welcome.
All right, little Dawn.
2023, it's been a whirlwind. I had a hard sit down with the wife, and we actually looked at numbers for finances. And my exact reaction, like, what the,
You can say it.
what the fuck? I'm like, I thought we were here. We're not. So, by the beginning of the year, we're looking to reset and get in the black.
Okay.
And then a few months ago, I was having sciatica pain. So it's like I'm always been the obstinate guy. It's like I'm not going in. You know, the guy that tells you and takes you to go to the hospital, but then won't take care of it himself. Then I went to the doc, and it's like, hey, Don, we got a couple issues we need to talk about. I'm like, well, I didn't see that coming at 36. So I've been with patients that are dying. I've been comfortable around death my entire life. But then when it actually kind of looks in your face, and it's finances, getting my personal house in order to take care of my family and lineage. And then with what I'm doing now, I currently teach a lot of kids. So it's like, what else can I tell these kids besides just, here, put a Band-Aid on this, and this requires a tourniquet, to extreme ends of it, stopping a bleed. Okay? And where I'm at now, I love what I'm doing. I have an amazing team that works with me. I'm looking for that next thing. I'm looking to step a little back from the corporate side. I'm not really looking to get back on an ambulance. More of what opportunities do I have with homesteading, prepping. I've got the firearms training. I got the medical background. What niche can I fill that'll be beneficial to my clientele and profitable for me to help me with that first goal?
I like hearing that second part. As we always say, they're not mutually exclusive. You can help people and make money doing it.
Yeah.
Because if you go broke helping people, you ain't going to be able to help people.
Oh, I'm a capitalist through and through. So.
Fucking right. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're a Marxist, get the hell out. So.
Or move downtown.
Yeah. Yo, yo, yo.
All right, this is Yoshik. First goal is pretty much looking at getting to SRF next month and pushing to get my general license for ham.
Nice.
In that time. I've been studying for the last couple months, and then they changed the test up a little bit, so I'm going to work on that and get that done. Second goal is continue working on the side hustles. Can't stop with that. Maybe get some better ones so I don't have to work as much. Lastly, in part, again, with Nate and this spot right here, I'm looking at October next year, getting married to my fiance, who's sitting over there with my dog Monty.
Aww.
So we're looking at Aaron from Two Chicks to officiate the wedding, and planning at this spot right here on the pond.
Dude.
So that's what's going in the works, and we've been talking about it on and off for the last couple months, and that's my plans for 2024.
So the last 2 times I have done one of these live roundtable discussions, a marriage, I wouldn't call it confession, but a marriage announcement came out both times. So that, thank you. That makes me so happy for you, Yoshik. That is, that's cool, man. Awesome.
Just moving forward.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. So, yeah, we were gonna, no, we're good. But I just want to say thank you to Nate and Aaron, because I did nothing for this other than promote it on the show. And you guys put one hell of a shindig together. Like, you guys wouldn't even believe that. For everybody at home listening, I can't even thank Nate and Aaron 10% of what they did. Like, it's fucking incredible. We have just had the most incredible day. So I got to say thank you for it, Nate. Like, you guys are our family. And Becky and I both love you guys and the girls. And you mean a lot to us. And it's funny because we've really only known each other for a year and a half, just like Big Bad Don over there. But it's funny how quick you can go from not knowing somebody to an acquaintance to a friend to damn near family. So I appreciate you, brother. I do. And you close out the show however you want, because it's your house tonight. So
Well, I really do appreciate it, but our main thing, we want our house to be opening to others. And Aaron and I will do everything we can to make sure everybody is fed, have fun,
yep.
make the space usable, and we may or may not bribe the neighbor to let us use this piece of property. But to have everybody show up here to be able to give tours of the rabbits and the chickens and the garden and the girl, and it's not just me doing it, it's the kids doing it. The kids are giving the tour, and I'm either cooking or socializing or helping people out. Aaron's doing the same thing, and it's amazing to have this. And it still blows my mind. You and I were just talking to each other on the book club, what, 8 days ago?
Yep.
And now you're sitting in my yard.
It's pretty cool.
So, I mean, there's no way around it. It's an honor to call you a friend.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate all the help that you've given us over the years to help us grow with who we are, be it on the business side of things, on the podcast side of things, growing our confidence to be able to sit down and speak and do live streams and do interviews and just be ourselves and make plans to look forward and keep on going.
You close it. Do you know my tagline? Can you remember?
I do.
Go ahead. Stay.
But I
Oh, you got something else to say? I'm sorry.
no, it just like slipped my mind.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, sorry. Now, what are you, Canadian?
Yes.
So, all
Yes.
right. So Nate's going to close it up here. So stay.
Stay happy, stay healthy, and
Have a great
have a great
week.
week.
Thanks, guys. Oh, thank you, guys.